There was a point in time where I had no voice.
My mother was a drug addict, a prostitute. My dad was a pimp. Neither one of them were existent in my life, period. My mom left me to die at a very young age.
Because that very baby was left in a heroin house on the west side of Buffalo, and it wasn't for a stranger next door wondering why the mail was piling up, going in and finding a baby that was wrapped in her own feces, had lost about 4 pounds of her birth weight, and all she knew was to get her to the local hospital.
Unable to speak for myself, I was awarded to the state, a foster child. In my mind, I thought, wow, how I wish that someone would speak for me, how I wish that someone would become my voice. There I was, this child in need and longing for the declaration of a champion in my life, but I was simply unable to speak out, and yet with every breath of me, I was crying out for help. I can remember being an adolescent and truly finding myself in a position where I had no say as to what happened to me. The only thing that I had going for me was my studies. I studied extremely hard, but every now and then I found myself acting out for fear of abandonment. I was like a ball that was bounced around from system to system, from juvenile hall to foster care, all in hopes of trying to find an answer or truly understand why. Why was I in this situation? Why was this well-educated child, this smart, bright, intelligent child, as people would characterize me, why was I the one left in this awful situation? Fearing one day that ultimately I would be left back here, I would be abandoned, and I'd be all alone. My stability was the military. Uncle Sam had a way of whipping my life right into shape through multiple advancements in my career, my continued push for further education when I got out of the military, i.e. gone to school and finally got my degrees, to include my master's. Those were the things that I really thrived at. And these were areas that I thought were really fulfilling to me, but truthfully, there was no wholeness. All there was a piece of paper. All there was a degree, something that I had paid $160,000 to obtain, but there was no wholeness in my life. And, ultimately I went on to get married, get divorced. My children, they came as a result of one, a failed marriage, and of course another out of wedlock. And they taught me the ability to love unconditionally. And ultimately they did not heal me. They were a divine blessing, but again, I was still broken. And of course, I continued in a lot of areas of my life to truly feel lost. There was a missing piece that I was desperately in search for. I can remember after losing everything and losing my house, one day I just drove downtown and found a parking lot. It was really cold outside on the corner of Ponce and Penn. And to brace myself from the cold, I had some blankets in the back of my truck. I whipped my car into the garage and I slept there. And I found myself in a downward spiraling season of adversity. One thing after another, one loss after another, the house, the car, education for my children. And I can remember that season being a very painful one. But I had made a decision at that time that my pain would be that very thing that catapulted me into my purpose. But I'm grateful because without no test, there's been no testimony. And without any pain, I would have never been able to live on purpose. So that was just the beginning of the journey. I understood in that moment that my testimony would be the very thing that I would use to empower women and men alike all around the world. And so I decided that I would take that story, I would take that pain, and I would turn it into something that would inspire other people to live their life to the fullest, that would empower women to find their purpose, pursue their passion, and more importantly, be everything that God called them to be. My voice was stolen. But patience, love, and guidance ultimately is what helped me repossess it. I know I was predestined to overcome every adversity as a testament to women from all backgrounds, all cultures, all elements of life, to let them know that there is life after what seems to be an emotional death. When we are silenced, it can truly thrust us into a place of obscurity. But your circumstances do not have to be that final nail in your coffin. They don't have to be the final outcome. Through it all, my life didn't just fall into place. It took learning, it took failing, it took being resilient to move forward, and it took pressing towards the higher calling, that work that was within me. It took all of that to get me here. So my goal, whether it be speaking to thousands or just to hit the switch in the minds of people that will provoke change, and of course help people to think differently and to move them into a more positive direction so that they can truly overcome whatever obstacles have come their way. That's my assignment. I've traveled the world empowering people, giving them hope, empowering life in people who thought there was no life left. I love seeing the look on the faces of people when they understand that life isn't over. See, you can begin to live life to the fullest, but it takes hard work and it takes dedication to get there. You know, I've found my voice. I speak up, I speak loud, I speak out, I speak life. My purpose? Well, that's God's design for my life. And it's truly to help you regain your voice and regain your life. I am Chinaza Dusan, and I am She Speaks.